Alex adjusted his helmet and took a cautious step forward. The planet before him was unlike anything he had seen in all his years of exploration. Jagged mountains glowed faintly under the light of two suns, and the air shimmered with an unusual energy. This was supposed to be an uninhabited world, yet something about it felt alive. He had been sent to survey potential energy sources for the Federation. Rumors of ancient ruins and strange energy readings had reached headquarters months ago, and Alex, being one of the few humans brave enough to explore uncharted planets alone, volunteered. Now, standing at the edge of a deep canyon, he could see why. The canyon was massive, stretching farther than his eyes could follow. At its center, an old structure stood. It pulsed faintly with a soft, bluish light, almost like it was breathing. Alex's curiosity overpowered caution. "Here goes nothing," he muttered, activating his gravity boots to descend carefully. As he neared the structure, he realized it wasn't just a building, it was a containment field. Transparent walls shimmered, almost invisible except for the faint glow. Something moved inside. Alex's eyes widened. A figure stood in the center. A girl, but not like any human girl he had ever seen. Her skin had a faint silver sheen, her eyes a striking violet. She moved with grace, but her stance was tense, ready. Who are you?" Alex asked, holding up his hands to show he meant no harm. The girl's gaze sharpened. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, a small device on her wrist extended into a blade, the energy humming quietly. "Do not come closer," she said in a voice that was soft yet firm. "I am Liara. Step any closer and I will defend myself." Alex froze. He had encountered hostile creatures before, but something about her felt intelligent. "I don't want to fight," he said carefully. "I'm Alex. I'm just exploring." Liara's eyes narrowed. "Exploring? Humans rarely reach this place. How did you bypass the shields?" Alex glanced at the faintly glowing barriers. "I didn't bypass anything. I just walked here. I didn't know anyone would be inside." That seemed to confuse her. Liara's species, he learned later, valued caution above all else. The fact that a human had reached this sacred structure alone was unprecedented. Suddenly, the ground trembled. Dust fell from the cliffs above. The structure around them shook violently. "Get down!" Alex shouted. He grabbed Liara's arm. "Do not touch me," she shouted. But the warning was lost in the roar of the collapsing cavern. Rocks began to fall from the ceiling. Alex could see that part of the canyon was about to collapse entirely. He didn't have time to argue. Grabbing Liara's hand, he pulled her away from the immediate danger, diving behind a large boulder as smaller rocks crashed around them. Breathing hard, Alex looked at her. "Are you okay?" Liara's chest rose and fell quickly. I am fine," she said, but her eyes betrayed fear. "That was reckless." "You're alive," Alex said with a small smile. "That's what matters." Liara's eyes widened in shock. "Alive because of you?" "Yes," Alex said, shrugging. "We should get out of here before more rocks fall." Reluctantly, she allowed him to guide her. As they moved, Alex noticed she didn't touch him again but followed his lead. When they finally reached a safer platform, Liara stepped back, holding her wristblade ready. "Why did you help me?" she demanded. Alex paused, thinking. "Because I couldn't just watch you get hurt. I don't know your species, but saving someone is the right thing to do." Liara's eyes narrowed. She studied him carefully. "Humans are different from what I expected." "Different how?" Alex asked. Liara's lips pressed into a thin line. "Your species acts without thought for consequences, yet also sometimes acts with courage and care." Alex smiled slightly. "I guess that describes a lot of humans." There was a moment of silence. Then Liara's expression shifted. Something in her posture changed. She stepped back, but there was hesitation. "You may have bonded us," she said suddenly. Alex blinked. "Bonded? What do you mean?" Liara's voice became serious. "My species allows only one mate, one a lifetime, and according to our laws, you have just claimed me." Alex froze. "Claimed you? That's impossible." "I didn't do anything." Liara's violet eyes met his. "You touched me to save me." "That is enough." Alex's mind raced. He had read about alien species and their rituals, but he had never imagined something like this. "Wait, you mean just helping someone can bond them?" Liara's lips tightened. "It is rare, but it is true." "The energy of life you brought to me." "It cannot be undone," Alex swallowed hard. He had never intended to do anything. He was just trying to survive. So, what happens now? Liara hesitated, looking down at her hands. I do not know. I must consult with my elders, but humans are not part of our records. This is unprecedented. Alex took a cautious step back. I don't want to cause problems. I just want to leave peacefully. Liara studied him for a long moment, then shook her head. You do not understand. You cannot simply leave. The bond, it connects us. Alex felt a knot in his stomach. Connects us how? Liara's gaze softened slightly. It is not just physical, it is emotional, spiritual. You have entered a part of my life that is sacred. I cannot ignore it, and neither can my people. Alex tried to process this. He had faced hostile aliens, dangerous terrain, and uncharted worlds, but this was something else entirely. Before he could respond, a low rumble echoed through the canyon. Liara's posture stiffened. We are not alone. Alex glanced around. Through the dust and the rocks, he could see faint movement, shapes that were clearly not human. Alien figures armed and ready were approaching the structure. We need to move, Liara said. Her wrist blade extended fully, humming with energy. Alex nodded. Lead the way. They moved cautiously through narrow passages, avoiding the larger rocks and the alien patrols. Alex could feel the tension building between them, not just from the threat outside, but from the strange, unexpected connection he now shared with Liara. Eventually, they reached a small cavern that offered some cover. Liara turned to him, breathing heavily. This is only the beginning. My people, they will come looking for me. And now, they will want to know who you are, and why you are bonded to me. Alex ran a hand through his hair. I don't even know what that means for me. Am I in danger? Liara shook her head slowly. I do not know, but danger follows anyone who touches the sacred bond. You are now part of my life, whether you want it or not. Alex felt the weight of her words. He had never imagined that helping someone could lead to this. The responsibility was immense and the consequences were unknown. Liara studied him carefully. I cannot allow you to leave this planet yet. The bond, it must be recognized by my elders. Only then will your fate be decided. Alex took a deep breath. He had faced impossible odds before, but this felt different. So, I'm stuck here with you until they decide? Liara nodded, but her eyes betrayed a mix of fear and curiosity. Yes, and we must survive until then. That is all I can say for now. The two of them sat in silence for a moment, listening to the faint hum of the planet and the distant sounds of alien patrols. Alex realized that nothing would ever be the same. His life, once filled with exploration and solitude, had now intertwined with Liara's in a way that could not be undone. Despite the fear, he felt a strange sense of calm. If he could survive the dangers ahead, perhaps he could navigate this bond as well. Liara glanced at him, her violet eyes reflecting both suspicion and a faint hint of trust. We must prepare. The bond, it will not be easy to understand, and neither will your presence. But for now, we survive together. Alex nodded. Together, he agreed, and for the first time on this alien world, he felt that maybe, just maybe, helping someone had changed everything. Alex woke to a faint light filtering through the crystalline walls of the cavern. He sat up slowly, feeling the cool surface beneath him. Liara was already awake, standing near the entrance and scanning the rocky terrain outside. Her posture was tense, alert, as if any sudden movement could bring danger. Morning, Alex said softly, not wanting to startle her. Liara glanced at him. Morning, she replied, her voice careful. We do not have time for greetings. We must prepare. Alex rubbed his eyes, trying to make sense of the events from the previous day. He had never expected that a simple act of helping someone could create such complications. Prepare for what? He asked. Liara's violet eyes narrowed. For the arrival of my people, and for you to understand the consequences of the bond. Alex frowned. The bond? You mean the one you said I created by saving you? Yes, Liara said, stepping closer. In my culture, the bond is sacred. Once it is formed, it cannot be broken. It connects two beings, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. Humans rarely, ever, understand it. That is why this is so unusual. Alex swallowed hard. So, I'm stuck here until your people decide what happens. Liara nodded. Exactly. And their decision will not be easy. Alex took a deep breath. Okay. Then we need a plan. Liara studied him for a moment, then nodded slightly. Yes, first you must understand our customs. My people are strict. We value loyalty, courage, and honor above all else. The bond, it is recognized only if both parties demonstrate respect and understanding. Alex leaned back against the wall, trying to process everything. Respect and understanding, got it. But how do I prove that to people I've never met? Liara's lips pressed into a thin line. Actions speak louder than words. You will need to survive alongside me. Show bravery, show care, show your willingness to follow our ways, even if you do not fully understand them. Alex nodded slowly. Sounds simple enough. In theory, Liara gave a small, almost imperceptible smile. It is not simple, but it is the only way. They spent the next few hours moving carefully through the cavern, avoiding unstable rocks and hidden crevices. Alex noticed how agile Liara was, her movements precise and controlled, as if every step had been practiced for years. He struggled to keep up, but she waited patiently when he fell behind. Finally, they emerged from the cavern into a wide plateau. From there, they could see the outskirts of Liara's settlement, a series of crystalline towers glowing softly in the sunlight. It was beautiful but also intimidating. The towers were tall and angular, sharp against the landscape, and movement could be seen around them. They are watching, Liara said quietly. My people know I am outside the city. They will investigate, Alex nodded. Then we should move carefully, Liara replied. We cannot show weakness. You must act as though you belong, even though you do not. As they approached the city, they were met by a group of Liara's people. They were tall and elegant, similar in appearance to Liara, with shimmering skin and striking eyes. Their expressions were serious, guarded. Liara, one of them said, a tall figure with silver hair and green eyes. We sensed your presence outside. Who is this human? Liara stepped forward, her wrist blade still faintly glowing. This is Alex. He saved me. The group looked at Alex skeptically. One of them, an elder with pale blue eyes, spoke slowly. Saved you? You are human. Humans are rare here. How could you save her without knowledge of our ways? Alex held up his hands. I didn't mean to intrude. I just acted to help her when the cavern collapsed. That's all. The elder studied him carefully. And the bond, he asked. Has it formed? Liara nodded. Yes, the bond has formed. It is unusual but undeniable. The elder's eyes widened slightly, then narrowed. Unusual or not, it cannot be ignored. A human bonded to one of our own. This has never happened before. Alex felt a wave of nervousness. So, what does that mean? The elder looked at Liara, then back at Alex. It means that your presence here will affect her entire life. And you will need to prove your worth. Liara stepped closer to Alex. Do not be afraid. You have already shown courage. That is rare among humans. Alex gave a small smile. Thanks, I think. The elder gestured toward the city. Follow me. You will meet the council. They will decide how to proceed. Alex and Liara followed the elder through the crystalline streets. The city was unlike any human settlement he had seen. Light reflected off the towers, creating patterns in the air, and the citizens moved with a quiet elegance, their eyes often turning to observe the new arrival. Inside a large hall, Alex saw a group of Liara's leaders seated in a semicircle. They looked imposing, their presence commanding respect. Liara guided him forward. Council, she said, this human is bonded to me. He saved my life, and the bond cannot be undone. A tall leader with silver hair leaned forward. This is unprecedented, she said. Humans have never entered our city in such a manner. How can we trust him? Alex stepped forward, keeping his voice calm. I understand your concern. I cannot speak your language fully, but I can show my intentions. I am here to help, not harm. I will follow your rules, and I will respect Liara and your people. The council members exchanged glances. Finally, the elder who first met him spoke. Very well. He may stay under supervision, but understand this. The bond requires more than words. Actions will determine his place among us. Liara gave Alex a brief, encouraging look. See, there is hope. But it will not be easy, Alex nodded. I'm ready. I'll do whatever it takes to respect your ways and keep both of us safe. Over the next few days, Alex was introduced to the daily life of Liara's people. He learned their routines, their rules, and their traditions. Everything was new and often overwhelming, but he tried to absorb it all. Liara remained by his side, guiding him, correcting small mistakes, and explaining cultural nuances. One evening, as the twin suns set, casting long shadows across the city, Liara led Alex to a quiet terrace overlooking the crystalline towers. "You are learning quickly," she said softly. Alex smiled. "I have a good teacher." Liara's violet eyes studied him for a moment. "Do you understand the seriousness of what has happened? The bond, it is more than survival. It is connection. If you fail to respect it, consequences could be severe." Alex nodded. "I understand. I don't want to fail you or anyone here." Liara seemed to relax slightly. "Good, that's all I can ask for now. Survive, learn, and show respect. Everything else will come in time." They watched the sunset in silence, the hum of the city around them creating a strange sense of calm. Alex realized that despite the danger, despite the unknown, he was beginning to feel a sense of belonging. Not fully, but enough to know that he had a purpose here beyond exploration. "Liara," he said finally, "thank you for trusting me." She looked at him, her expression unreadable. "Trust is earned. You have begun to earn it. But remember, the bond is only the beginning. The real challenge lies ahead." Alex felt a mix of fear and determination. Whatever lay ahead, he knew one thing. He could not abandon Liara, and he would face whatever challenges came next. Together they had survived the canyon. Together they would navigate her world. And perhaps, together, they could redefine what it meant to belong. The days after Alex's introduction to Liara's city were tense. Though the council had allowed him to stay under supervision, whispers followed him everywhere. Citizens stared curiously, some suspicious, some fascinated. Humans were rare in this part of the galaxy, and seeing one bonded to one of their own was unprecedented. Liara guided Alex through their daily routines, teaching him customs, language nuances, and survival techniques unique to her species. They trained in movement drills that were essential for navigating their city's sharp, crystalline architecture. Alex struggled at first, his human muscles unaccustomed to the precision required. But Liara's patience and guidance helped him improve quickly. One afternoon, while they practiced evading and climbing over jagged crystal formations outside the city, Liara suddenly froze. Her violet eyes narrowed, scanning the horizon. "Something is coming," she whispered. Alex followed her gaze and saw a group of alien scouts approaching from the cliffs above. Their armor gleamed darkly and their weapons looked advanced and deadly. Alex's stomach tightened. "Are they hostile?" Liara's jaw set. "Yes, they have come for me. A rival faction believes they can take advantage of the bond. They see this human as a weakness, a chance to force me into submission." Alex felt a surge of protective instinct. "Then we fight?" Liara shook her head. "No, not yet. We cannot risk open battle here. We must escape to the outer canyon where the terrain gives us advantage." Without waiting for more questions, she grabbed his hand and led him through narrow paths and hidden passages. Alex struggled to keep up, dodging jagged crystal spires and leaping over sudden gaps in the terrain. Despite his physical limits, he felt an unfamiliar strength, adrenaline and determination pushing him forward. As they reached a hidden cliffside, Liara glanced back. "We are safe for now, but they will not give up. You must understand, Alex, this is only the beginning." Alex nodded, breathing hard. "I understand. But I won't leave your side." Liara's eyes softened briefly before she looked away. "Good. You will need courage. More than you have shown so far." Night fell over the canyon and the stars of this alien world shone bright and unfamiliar. They camped in a sheltered area, the soft hum of distant energy sources surrounding them. "You must learn," Liara said quietly, "that survival is not just physical. Your mind must be sharp. You must anticipate moves, understand intentions, and adapt quickly. My people's enemies do not show mercy." Alex nodded, taking in every word. "I will do my best. I want to protect you, Liara. And your people, if I can." Liara studied him for a moment, then gave a faint nod. "We begin with understanding. Learn their patterns, their tactics. Only then will you survive in this world." The following days were grueling. Liara took Alex through intense exercises, climbing crystal spires, navigating narrow ledges, and evading patrols. She tested his reflexes, his endurance, and his decision-making under pressure. Alex failed often, scraping his arms and legs, falling repeatedly, but he never gave up. Each time, Liara helped him up, correcting his mistakes patiently. One evening, they were resting on a high plateau overlooking the city. Alex's arms were sore, his body exhausted, but his mind was alert. "Why are you helping me so much?" he asked, genuinely curious. "You don't have to trust me." Liara looked away, her violet eyes reflecting the twin moons above. "It is not about trust entirely, the bond. It compels me to guide you, to protect you as you protect me. It is not just instinct, it is responsibility." Alex was silent for a moment, letting the words sink in. "I didn't ask for this bond, but I won't run from it either. I will learn and I will stand by you." Liara studied him carefully, then nodded. "Good, that is the beginning. But words are not enough. You will face real danger soon." Her words proved prophetic. On the third night, a loud roar echoed through the canyon. Shadows moved along the cliffs. Dozens of armored figures, advanced weapons glowing, descending rapidly. Alex's heart pounded. "They found us," he whispered. Liara's wrist blade extended fully. "Prepare yourself. This is a test of everything you've learned." Alex braced himself. As the enemy reached them, he moved instinctively, dodging and countering attacks under Liara's guidance. Though he was slower than her, he used the environment, the jagged spires, narrow ledges, and sudden drops to his advantage. Liara moved with precision, her attacks swift and controlled, deflecting blows and protecting Alex whenever possible. Together they fought as a team, covering each other and adapting to the enemy's tactics. Alex realized that despite the fear, he was beginning to understand her people's way of fighting. It was not just strength, it was anticipation, calculation, and trust in a partner. Hours passed in what felt like minutes. The attackers eventually retreated, unable to navigate the canyon's complex terrain as effectively as Liara and Alex. Both were exhausted, covered in dust and minor wounds, but alive. Liara sank to the ground, breathing heavily. "You did well," she said, her voice almost a whisper. "Most humans would have panicked or run." Alex leaned against a rock, panting. "I couldn't let them get to you. I just did what had to be done." Liara studied him, her violet eyes reflecting a mix of admiration and something deeper. "It is not just courage. It is determination, and that is rare." For the first time since their bond had formed, Alex saw a flicker of trust and respect in her expression. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, but it meant something. The next morning they returned to the city cautiously. The council was waiting, clearly aware of the night's events. The elder who had first met Alex spoke gravely. "Your actions have been noted," she said. "The bond is stronger now, but so is the risk. Rival factions will not rest. You must prove yourself further, not only in survival but in understanding our people's ways." Liara stepped closer to Alex. "They are right. We cannot underestimate what lies ahead, but we have shown that together we can survive threats that would overwhelm most individuals." Alex nodded, determination settling over him. "Then we keep going. I will learn, adapt, and protect you, whatever it takes." Over the next several days, Alex and Liara trained and planned. They studied maps of the surrounding regions, identified potential threats, and practiced maneuvers that combined human ingenuity with Liara's species' precision. One evening, as they rested on the terrace overlooking the city, Liara spoke quietly. "Alex, do you understand why this bond is so important? It is not just about us. It is about the future of my people. If we fail, there could be chaos. Rival factions could exploit this and trust could be broken." Alex took her hand gently. "I understand. I may not belong here, but I will do everything I can to make sure we succeed, and I won't let anyone hurt you." Liara looked at him, her expression unreadable. Then, almost imperceptibly, she nodded. "Then perhaps this bond, unexpected as it is, could become a strength." The stars above shone brighter than ever as they sat together in silence. Despite the exhaustion and danger, Alex felt a growing confidence. The trials they faced had begun to forge a connection stronger than either had anticipated. And though the future was uncertain, Alex knew one thing with clarity: he would face every threat, every challenge, every unknown alongside Liara. Together, they were stronger. Together they could survive. The canyon and the city, the rival factions and the council, none of it seemed as terrifying now as the bond they shared. And Alex, for the first time on this alien world, felt a sense of purpose he had never known. The city was quieter than usual, as Alex and Liara walked through the crystalline streets. Citizens moved with their usual elegance, but the atmosphere carried a subtle tension. Word of the recent attack had spread quickly, and whispers about the human bonded to Liara filled every corridor. Liara's grip on Alex's hand was firm but calm. "We cannot ignore the consequences of last night," she said. "Our enemies will adapt. The Council will expect action, and you must understand the full extent of the bond." Alex nodded. "I know, but I feel like I've learned so much already. I've survived, I've adapted. Now what?" Liara's violet eyes met his. "Now you must understand power. My people are not ordinary. Our bond is strong because it amplifies certain abilities when paired with a compatible mate. You human have shown adaptability and courage, traits rare even among us. Together we are stronger than most realize." Alex frowned slightly. "Abilities? You mean like fighting skills?" Liara shook her head. "More than that. Strength, awareness, connection, even intuition. The bond allows two beings to complement each other, but it is dangerous if misused. Our enemies could exploit it and mistakes could be catastrophic." Alex's mind raced. "So they'll want to capture me? Or use me to weaken you?" Liara's jaw tightened. "Exactly. And some among my own people question whether the bond should exist at all. They do not trust a human in this role. That is why we must proceed carefully." They reached a large hall where the council awaited. The leaders were tense, their expressions unreadable. The elder with pale blue eyes stepped forward. "Liara," she said, "the bond is undeniable, but humans are unpredictable. If this connection is to benefit our people, the human must demonstrate loyalty, understanding, and wisdom. And he must survive challenges that test both body and mind." Alex straightened. "I understand. I will do whatever it takes." The council murmured among themselves. One of the elders, a woman with green eyes and silver hair, studied Alex closely. "You survived the canyon and the ambush. That is commendable. But survival alone does not earn trust. You must understand our history, our laws, and the balance of power among factions." Liara stepped closer to Alex. "We begin with knowledge. You must learn our politics, our traditions, our technology. Only then can you act effectively." Over the following days, Alex was immersed in learning. Scholars taught him the history of Liara's people, how they had built their city, how they governed themselves, and how rival factions constantly threatened their peace. He learned about energy manipulation, advanced defensive systems, and the strategic importance of the bond. At first, the information was overwhelming. He struggled to remember names, rules, and historical events. But Liara guided him patiently, explaining concepts in simpler terms and relating them to his human experiences. Slowly, he began to grasp the depth of their society and the responsibilities of the bond. One afternoon, Liara led him to a training ground high above the city. The platforms were narrow, hovering over deep chasms. The exercise was not just physical, it tested focus, strategy, and trust between bonded partners. "Today," Liara explained, "we will simulate an attack. You must anticipate, adapt, and protect not just yourself but me and our surroundings. The bond allows us to respond as one. If you can synchronize with me." Alex nodded, tension rising. He had fought enemies before, but this was different. He wasn't just fighting for himself, he was fighting for Liara, for her people, for something far larger than he could fully understand. The simulation began. Liara moved with precision, her attack swift and deliberate. Alex struggled at first, misjudging distances and timing. Liara's voice guided him, correcting his movements and encouraging him to anticipate threats. Slowly he adapted, his instincts aligning with hers. By the end of the exercise, they had completed the course flawlessly. Liara's eyes showed a rare hint of pride. "You are learning quickly. Few humans would manage this. Few even among my people could match your adaptability." Alex felt a sense of accomplishment. "I couldn't have done it without your guidance," Liara smiled faintly. "We are partners. That is the bond." That evening, as they returned to the city, Liara grew serious. "Alex, you must understand something important. The council is watching us closely. They are evaluating not just your abilities, but your character. They will test your decisions, your loyalty, and your judgment, and you may face moral dilemmas you never imagined." Alex took a deep breath. "I understand. I will face them. I'll do what's right, even if it's difficult." Liara paused, her violet eyes softening. "Good. Courage and determination are essential, but so is wisdom. A hasty decision could endanger not just us but many others. Their next challenge came sooner than expected. A scout arrived at the council hall with urgent news. A rival faction was attempting to infiltrate the city under the cover of night. They had discovered a secret route and aimed to capture Liara to force political leverage. The council quickly convened. Liara explained the situation, her voice steady despite the tension. "We must act quickly. They underestimate the bond, and that is our advantage." Alex stepped forward. "I want to help. I've learned a lot and I can contribute." One elder looked at him skeptically. "Do you truly understand the risk? If you fail, it could be catastrophic." "I understand," Alex said firmly, "but I won't let them take her. We've trained together. I trust her and she trusts me. That is our strength." The council hesitated, then nodded. "Very well. You may join the operation, but remember, caution is essential, strategy above all else." Liara placed her hand on Alex's shoulder. "Remember what we practiced. Trust the bond. We act together." As night fell, Alex and Liara, along with a select team of elite guards, moved through the city. The rival faction was cunning, but the bond allowed Alex and Liara to anticipate moves, cover blind spots, and coordinate attacks with precise timing. The confrontation was intense. Blasts of energy illuminated the dark streets and the hum of advanced weaponry filled the air. Alex found himself using knowledge he had learned in just a few days. Energy manipulation principles, tactical positioning, and quick decision-making. Liara moved beside him, their actions in sync. The bond amplified their coordination, allowing them to protect each other and counter the enemy's strategies. They managed to drive the faction back, securing the city's perimeter. When the battle ended, both were exhausted but unharmed. The council observed from a distance, impressed by Alex's ability to adapt so quickly. One elder, with a small nod, said, "He has proven himself, not just as a human but as a bonded partner." Liara glanced at Alex, her expression a mix of relief and admiration. "You have done well. You are beginning to understand the true strength of the bond." Alex smiled despite his fatigue. "We did it together." "I couldn't have done it alone," Liara nodded. "That is the bond. Partnership, trust, and shared responsibility. You are learning, and with time, you may become more than I ever expected." As they returned to the council hall, the city's lights reflected in the crystalline towers. Alex felt a new sense of belonging. He was no longer just an outsider. He was part of something larger, something meaningful. The bond with Liara had created not only a connection between them, but also a link to her people, her culture, and a responsibility he had never imagined. Sitting quietly in the council chambers later, Liara spoke softly. "Alex, you have begun to earn respect. But remember, challenges will grow. You will face decisions that test not only your strength but your integrity, and through it all the bond will guide you." Alex nodded. "I understand. And I won't fail. For you, for your people, I will do whatever it takes." Liara's violet eyes softened as she looked at him. "That is why I believe in this bond. Unexpected as it is, it may be the strength we need to face what comes next." Outside, the city remained quiet, but Alex knew the calm was temporary. Rival factions, political intrigue, and tests of loyalty awaited. Yet for the first time he felt ready. The bond had taught him courage, trust, and responsibility. It had shown him that even in an alien world filled with danger, connection and determination could overcome fear. And as he stood beside Liara, he realized that this bond, unexpected, powerful, and unbreakable, was not just about survival. It was about growth, understanding, and the possibility of something extraordinary. Together, they would face the challenges ahead. Together, they would prove that courage, trust, and unity could overcome any threat, even one that spanned worlds. The city stirred with anticipation. Word of Alex and Liara's success in repelling the rival faction had spread quickly. Citizens whispered in awe about the human who had survived the trials, adapted to their ways, and stood firmly bonded to Liara. For the first time, many began to see that the bond could be a source of strength rather than a risk. The council called a formal gathering. Crystal towers gleamed under the twin suns, reflecting light across the streets as citizens assembled to witness the proceedings. Alex felt a mix of nervousness and resolve. He had faced dangers, learned customs, and survived challenges, but now he would be judged not just for skill but for character, wisdom, and loyalty. Liara took his hand, a silent reassurance. "Remember everything we've trained for," she said softly. "Trust in the bond. Trust in yourself. This is the moment that matters most." Alex nodded. "I'm ready. I will not fail." The council chamber was immense, with high ceilings that reflected faint light in patterns across the crystal floor. At the center sat the elders, their expressions solemn yet expectant. Liara stepped forward, her posture regal and composed despite the tension. "Council," she began, her voice steady. "Alex has proven himself through courage, intelligence, and dedication. He has not only survived but has embraced the bond fully, showing respect for our people, our laws, and our ways." The elders exchanged glances, silent for a moment. Finally, the elder who had first met Alex spoke. "It is true. The human has demonstrated qualities rarely seen among our own species: adaptability, loyalty, and the willingness to learn. The bond he shares with Liara is unprecedented, but it has already strengthened her, and through her it strengthens our people." Another elder raised a hand. "But the human is still human. Can he truly understand the responsibilities of this bond? Can he act with wisdom in situations we have faced for generations?" Alex stepped forward, his voice clear and steady. "I cannot claim to know everything about your culture or your history, but I have learned and I continue to learn. I understand the bond, its importance, and the responsibility it carries. I will protect Liara, your people, and the values I've come to respect. I will act with integrity, courage, and loyalty every day." The chamber was silent. Then the eldest, her silver hair catching the light, nodded slowly. "Your words carry truth. Actions have already proven your commitment. This council recognizes the bond as valid and binding. Alex, you are now formally acknowledged as Liara's partner, and your place among our people is accepted." Liara's violet eyes softened. She took a step closer to Alex, her hand still in his. "You have done what few could. You have earned trust, respect, and a place in my life. Together we will face whatever comes next." A wave of relief and triumph washed over Alex. "Thank you for believing in me. I will not disappoint." The council stood and the citizens applauded quietly, a gesture of acceptance and acknowledgement. For Alex, this moment was more than recognition. It was affirmation that his actions, courage, and respect had bridged the gap between species, culture, and expectation. In the days that followed, life settled into a new rhythm. Alex continued learning, now with more freedom to participate in city life. He and Liara trained together, studied strategies to protect the city, and explored the world around them. Citizens who had been wary of him began to see his dedication, and slowly trust grew. One evening, as the twin suns set, Alex and Liara climbed to the top of a crystalline tower. The view stretched for miles, jagged mountains, glimmering plains, and the city below alive with soft light and movement. "Do you ever think about how it all started?" Alex asked, breaking the silence. "I never imagined helping someone would lead to..." This, Liara's violet eyes reflected the fading light. "I did not expect it either. The bond is rare, but sometimes the rarest events bring the strongest outcomes. Utah changed everything by acting without fear, without hesitation. That is why the bond has been strengthened." Alex smiled. "I just wanted to save you. I didn't realize it would lead to so much responsibility." Liara reached out, gently touching his cheek. "Responsibility can be heavy, but it can also create connection, purpose, and strength. You have proven that you are capable, and now, we face the future together." As the stars began to appear in the sky, Alex felt a sense of peace he had never known. This world was alien, filled with challenges and complexities he could barely imagine a week ago. Yet he no longer felt like an outsider. The bond with Liara had not only connected them, but it had opened a door to understanding, trust, and mutual respect. The next morning, the council held a ceremony to honor the bond officially. Citizens gathered, and Alex and Liara stood together in the center of the chamber. The elders spoke of trust, courage, and unity, emphasizing that this bond was a symbol of hope, a bridge between species, a new example of cooperation, and a testament to what could be achieved when courage and respect were combined. Alex listened carefully, humbled by their words. He had been thrust into a situation beyond anything he had imagined, yet he had grown, adapted, and become part of something extraordinary. Liara squeezed his hand lightly. "You have faced trials, danger, and doubt, but you have endured. You have shown strength, intelligence, and heart. That is why the bond is honored today." Alex smiled, his gaze meeting hers. "And I will continue to honor it every day. Not just for you, but for your people and everything we fought for." After the ceremony, the city celebrated quietly. Alex and Liara walked through the streets together, now accepted and respected. Citizens greeted them warmly, offering nods, smiles, and occasional gifts, a gesture of trust and acknowledgement. Alex felt a deep connection not only with Liara but also with this world, its people, and its culture. That evening, they returned to the terrace overlooking the city. The twin moons reflected on the crystal towers, creating patterns of light that shimmered like water. Liara looked at Alex, her expression calm but serious. "The challenges are not over," she said. "Rival factions may regroup. Political decisions may still test us. But now, we face them together. The bond will guide us, and our combined strength will protect us." Alex nodded, a quiet determination settling over him. "I'm ready. Whatever comes next, I'll stand by you." Liara's violet eyes softened, a rare warmth shining through. "And I will stand by you. The bond has connected us, but it has also taught us something important. That courage, respect, and understanding can overcome fear, even in the most unexpected circumstances." For the first time, Alex truly felt that he belonged. He was no longer just a human explorer. He was part of a world, a culture, and a bond that transcended differences. The trials had been difficult, the challenges immense, but he had grown stronger, wiser, and more connected. As the night deepened, Alex and Liara stood side by side, watching the city below. The stars above seemed brighter, the air filled with a quiet hum of life and energy. And in that moment, Alex realized something profound. The bond was not just a connection between two beings, it was a bridge between worlds. A symbol of trust, courage, and hope. Liara turned to him, a faint smile on her lips. "The future is uncertain, Alex, but we face it together. That is the true power of the bond." Alex took her hand firmly. "Together," he said, and together, they stepped forward, ready to face the unknown, their bond stronger than any fear, their courage unwavering, and their connection unbreakable. The city, the people, and the world beyond awaited, but for the first time, Alex knew that no challenge was insurmountable, no danger too great, and no difference too wide to bridge. With Liara by his side, he was ready for anything. The twin moons rose high in the sky, casting silver light across the crystal towers, and Alex and Liara, bonded by courage, respect, and choice, began the next chapter of their extraordinary journey.